The final strand, as I'd mentioned, of the kind of three key areas off the park is, of course, the chief exec. So Michael Nicholson is now the main man. He took over on a temporary basis following Don Mackay's fleeting time in the role. Still a bit of a mystery, that one, to be honest with you. So Celtic confirmed just before Christmas last year that Michael Nicholson would be taking the role on a permanent basis. And the general consensus, James, amongst fans is that, this one by and large is going pretty well. Just before I come to you for your kind of initial comments on that, I'm also just going to run through the financial headlines. So Celtic reported financial figures just in September there, confirming a 6.1 million profit following the end of COVID restrictions, as well as an increase in player trading. This is in the back of a loss of 11.5 million in 2021. Revenue was up by 45.2%, going from 60.8 million to 88.2 million. And big money, of course, was brought in for the likes of Odsonne Edouard, Chris Ayer and Ryan Christie. Michael Nicholson, James, seems to be a popular guy and a guy that's just cracking on with the job.
Yeah, very much so. I think I'm not saying he's lucky, but he's got fortune that he's come in at a time when change was essential. So there's a clean slate there. So he's come in, let's just take Don Mackay out of the equation entirely. That just didn't happen. He's come in, new managers putting new structures in place, new scouting, the chief exec. Now, he might end up as chairman, lol, but he was out the building at that point, which is great for Nicholson to come in and do his own thing, Gantt or otherwise. But just, it was his job to do what he wanted to do and needed to do. I think he's a kind of slow, steady operator, but he's clearly got ambition, because he's doing things that Celtic haven't done for years. So it's not like he's doing the don't make any mistakes CEO guy, where it's just like slow and steady, but you don't spend a lot. He's shown real progress that's been essential at Celtic.
Yeah, and I think he's made some moves which definitely back your comments up there. The fact that he's first and foremost backed Ange, by going out, taking the leap of faith to go and sign a Kyogo Furuhashi and then a further 3 Japanese players in January. That tells you that he believes in the manager and he's bought into that side of things. Then going out and making the other appointments that we've spoken about, McElhone, Mark Lawwell, and various other behind-the-scenes appointments which we probably won't see or hear of. Paddy, I was going to say that the relationship between a CEO and a manager in modern football is probably the most important relationship at the club, and it seems that we've got a good fit there at the moment.
It does, it really does, and I think kind of what we touched on earlier about the likes of some of the managers we've had in, have they really been the manager? I think that's definitely been taken out of the equation with this relationship between Postecolglou and Nicholson. I think for me, it's great to see that the investment that's happened in the team, it was needed, 100% it was needed. And for that and that alone, he was part of the old setup in a sense, and I'm still not happy with that. I'm still not happy that we were left in that position. So keep doing what you're doing, change my mind, absolutely, but I'm still, I would say one thing in defence of the old regime, there only was one person. Not true, true, but also I think that there's a big factor, and I think with Don Mackay coming in and realising the mess that was probably there at Celtic, I think when he was trying to ruffle a few feathers, he's been told, doesn't work like that, pal. So that's my worry on it, is basically, we've still got some of those old faces still working at the club.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
So
non-exec's been there for like 27 years and stuff,
Yeah, so you've got to be cautious. I'm very happy to see the investment in the team, and rightly so, it needed to happen. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, so Paddy says, keep doing what you're doing, Michael Nicholson, but I've got an eye on you.
Absolutely.
just let it be known. What will be interesting is Celtic's AGM takes place this Friday, 4th of November. And there's always headlines that come out of that, and there's always speculation and different things. It'll be Michael Nicholson's first as permanent CEO, and Celtic officially confirmed at the end of July this year that Ian Bankier would be stepping down as chairman after around about 10 years in the role. If it would seem a certainty that former CEO and the aforementioned Peter Lawwell is going to be appointed into that role, I'd be amazed if he's not confirmed on Friday. What do you think of that?
I think on record in a previous podcast has been a wee bit nonplussed about it. I don't. I think you come to accept the fact that Mark Lawwell's been appointed. Lawwell's influence is never really going to be too far from Celtic for as long as he's allowed to hang about. So you as well make it official and stick him in as chairman, so you can just confirm that. Disappointed to have been omitted for the Michael Nicholson chat there. One thing I want to raise on it is that people of a certain vintage will remember Milky Bar kid. He looks like the Milky Bar kid has aged to be, you know, CEO of a prominent football club.
You can see why we omitted you from that chat.
Yes, but I still feel it's a point worth being made.
And maybe you have.
Listen, Lawwell's hanging about. You may as well make it official, because you know, even if he's not in as chairman, he's got to be
doing stuff.
He's got to be in the background. He's
this,
Peter Lawwell.
This is the thing, though. So if he's in as chairman, the danger is he puts his nose in where it shouldn't be. Nicholson has to be left to do his job, and the chairman should be the ambassador with the brilliant contacts and work that Lawwell can do.
This is what remains to be seen. This is where it'll make things come to a head, I think, in some way. But the danger is fan reaction, yes, and how fans react to that. That is the big danger.
That's the thing. You know, at the moment, by and large, the garden's pretty rosy. We know we can do better in Europe, but domestically we're back on track. We've got a team we love, a manager we love, some backroom guys that we're really quite happy with, and I suppose it's just the nature of Celtic. You know, there's the next big news, the next big drama's only around the corner, and Friday will be the next chance to see how fans respond to that kind of news, Paddy.
Yeah, it will be. And you know, I'm kind of going on what I'm saying there. I'd read the minutes from the section chat with a few of the guys at the backroom team at Celtic, and some of them involved with the security setup and stuff, and there wasn't really much. I don't know. They weren't listening to fans. They were listening to people that they're worried about, and I think that's
those that make most noise.
I think that's a bit of a concern. Wasn't much reasoning given to changes in the section and stuff like that. People were bringing up is there scope for like other areas of the stadium to receive the standing section, and I think it's basically just, well, if we cam it down here, then maybe, but there wasn't much reason as to give into what do you mean by cam it down, you know. So they know, but yeah. Still, I just thought that, you know, we can't sit in our hands with things like that. This is people that are paying. Oh my, there we go. You're not the only one, Miff.
Thanks for that, James. Just made me feel a lot better.
At least you never picked up Miff's water like me last week.
The dominant.
But yeah, there's these people pay their season ticket money like everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, just to round off that chat, Miff. So we'll keep a very close eye on Friday's AGM and the headlines that come from that. But generally speaking, what's your kind of final notes on where we find ourselves off the park? Good but room for improvement, or something different from that?
Overall, I'm happy. I think one theme that's recurring that we've debated a good few times on here is one around youth development and a pathway to the first team. It would be my hope that in the coming years there will regularly be a couple of youth players being added to the squad, but with a genuine view to them playing a part in the team rather than it just being done on a sort of ad hoc basis as it seems to be. We really need that. Part of a sustainable model going forward is we need to bring through these homegrown players that we can then sell on to reinvest in the team, because that's, you know, that's the model. But overall, I just feel it's a great time to be a Celtic fan. The foundations have been built. The Lawwell, or the potential of the Lawwell circus aside, I feel that we've got really solid foundations to build on, and I think the work that Ange has done, the key thing is you brought in a firefighter that's managed to turn the club around so quickly in such a short space of time that it's now given us a platform to build whilst we're in front, when really we thought we would be doing this still chasing. So it's a huge mindset shift for the club, and I just think it's so important that we make the most of it, because we've been given a great opportunity to build another 10 years of success.
Yeah, and I think that's a really positive way to finish off that. You know, things are not far from perfect, but they're not perfect, but there's definitely scope for improvement, and it looks like Celtic are heading generally in the right direction there. Interesting you pick up on the youth academy, Miff, and the player pathway. Definitely something we'll be spending some time on in the weeks and months ahead, so I'll look forward to that chat.